Pixar has released some of the best animated movies of all time. When we think about Pixar, we are reminded of Toy Story, Monsters Inc., Cars, and many other amazing ones. But Finding Nemo is definitely one of their most popular movies, and with such a popular movie, well, you know what, there are bound to be some people out there that conjure up some pretty dark and depressing theories that are for sure going to ruin our childhoods. And I'm here to share it with you guys. I'm your host for this one, Landon Do Not Sing, and welcome back to another most amazing top 10 video. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you guys are enjoying our scary content here, and also be sure to subscribe to the most amazing family on the internet. Let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get right into what you guys clicked for. This right here is the top 10 scary Finding Nemo theories. And let me know if I've missed any in the comment section below, or if you guys know of some. Starting things off, and at number 10, Nemo doesn't actually exist. I hate to be the one that bursts your bubble, but as it turns out, Nemo might have been just a figment of Marlin's imagination. In Latin, the word Nemo literally translates to nobody. Do you guys think that maybe the writers are trying to add a dark element to this movie? Because if we're taking that into consideration, Finding Nemo means finding nobody. How sad is that? The Reddit user takes things one step further because it is the internet. Do you guys remember the scene where Marlin's wife and children die? Yeah, I try to block that out myself, but let's just say that all of his family actually are murdered by the Barracuda. That means Marlin had a hard time coping with his loss, so he imagined that he had a child named Nemo to help him, with his depression. How bleak is this? Marlin's wife left him, and this sad theory brings us to number 9. Forget everything you thought you knew about Finding Nemo, because, well, this theory is about to shatter everything. Reddit user Black Hat Samurai 1 believes that Finding Nemo starts off a lot differently than what we are led to believe. Apparently, everyone survived the Barracuda attack, but while Marlin was passed out, his wife realized that he forced them to move to a dangerous neighborhood and that Marlin is actually a terrible father, so the wife packed up all her fish things, took the kids, and left Marlin without saying goodbye. But she left her only child that was disabled because she felt like she wouldn't be able to take care of him. I mean, wow, is this real life right now? What the heck? I think Marlin's wife is the one that's evil and a very terrible mother. I mean, who does that? Number 8, Marlin is taking advantage of Dory. Throughout the majority of the movie, Marlin and Dory are on a crazy adventure, to find his son Nemo, right? Well, according to this theory, Marlin used to know Dory when they were younger. He always had a crush on her, but he was too scared to approach her. Over the years, Marlin became so obsessed with her, and he wanted her all to himself, so he came up with a plan to capture her. But this plan backfired, and he actually caused the accident that led to her amnesia. Once she was able to roam around the ocean again, Marlin made his move and introduced himself to her. And now he basically uses her for whatever he wants, and the sad part about it is that Dory has no idea what's truly going on. The 5 stages of grief takes us onto number 7. As it turns out, Finding Nemo doesn't have a happy ending at all. All of Marlin's family died in the beginning of the film. So in reality, well, Finding Nemo is about Marlin's struggle throughout the 5 stages of grief. First we have denial. Marlin has been suffering from denial ever since the Barracuda attack, and he refuses to believe that his son actually died in the attack. Next we have anger. This is pretty clear where we see Marlin have a ton of outbursts with Nemo. And do you guys remember when we see Nemo at the drop-off? This is the first time that Marlin realizes that Nemo has disappeared and he might actually not be alive. Bargaining comes next. This takes the majority of the movie when Marlin is desperately searching for his son, and he'll do anything to bring him back. Then we have depression, and this is pretty apparent when Marlin saw Nemo's dead body. Yes, I know Nemo was only faking his death, but Marlin didn't know that. Then we have acceptance. When Marlin is captured by a fishing net, Marlin accepts that the only way he'll be with his son again is if he dies himself. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pretty sure that I'll never be able to watch this movie ever again. It's just not the same after, hearing about this. Number 6, what really happened to the fish from P. Sherman's fish tank? The tank gang were the fish from the dentist's office. You know, the fish that helped Nemo make it back to the ocean? But the last time we see them, they're floating in baggies at the end of the movie. I'm pretty sure that whenever we buy a fish from the pet store, they tell us that you should keep the fish in a bag and place it on top of your aquarium water for about 15 minutes and then release them into your tank just so the water levels, the temperature can get as close as possible. And according to Google, fish can survive in a plastic bag for about 7 days. I'm pretty sure the tank gang had no way of escaping from those plastic bags. Oh, and during the Finding Dory post-credit scenes, we see that the tank gang is still in the same plastic bag as the original movie, and they traveled all the way to California. Wouldn't they just run out of oxygen? And wouldn't they be starving? Oh, and their water, it has to be full of waste as well. There's no way it's that clear. So I think that the tank gang wouldn't be able to survive in real life, and I think that they actually died from either, you know, suffocation or starvation. Either way, it wasn't pretty. Next up, number 5, we have petting zoos. This next theory is actually pretty disturbing. Apparently in the Finding Nemo universe, there are a ton of theme parks where they force mentally and physically impaired sea creatures behind cages where other fish can feed them and watch them swim around like some sort of sick and twisted petting zoo. Do you guys remember in the post-opening credit scenes, Marlin and Nemo? Well, when they were swimming to school and Nemo said that he hopes his dad doesn't freak out like he did at the petting zoo? Why the heck would fish need a theme park with a petting zoo? This is kind of equivalent to having a petting zoo full of humans. I mean, that's immoral and wrong. The real synopsis takes us to number 4. How would you attempt to describe the plot of Finding Nemo? I'd probably say something like this. Finding Nemo is about a father who will stop at nothing to rescue his son from the dangers of the open water. But what if I told you guys that the real synopsis is something more like this? It's a movie about a serial killer who kills a little boy's mom and all of his other siblings. And the attack left a little clownfish with a disability, and in a sudden turn of events, the boy gets kidnapped and the dad goes on an adventure to find and save his lost son with the help of a mentally disabled woman. So you're telling me Finding Nemo is about serial killers and kidnapping? I mean, that's it. I'm officially done here. How do we get past this dark theory, and how do we watch Nemo again after learning about all this? Well, next up, number 3, we have Bruce is the son of the shark from Jaws. Yeah, that's right. Our favorite vegetarian shark, Bruce, might be the son of the shark from Jaws. Apparently in the set of Jaws, there were a bunch of shark models that were used for filming. All of them were named Bruce. In Finding Nemo, Bruce never knew his father, and it's actually pretty common for great whites to leave their infant children behind since they can swim at birth. Also, Bruce is a part of a support group that goes against being mindless killing machines. Maybe his mother told him who his father was and he vouched to never be like him. Or maybe his father left his family because he wanted to terrorize and eat humans. You know what? I'm just glad that Bruce isn't anything like his father, or else Finding Nemo would be an entirely different animation. I'm not sure Pixar would be behind that one. Dory's memory loss is caused from a traumatic incident she had when she was young, and this theory brings us to number 2. I mean, have you guys ever wondered what happened to her? Well, throughout the entire film, we obviously know that Dory is struggling with some form of amnesia or short-term memory loss, but we don't really know what happened to her. All we know is that Dory wasn't born with this condition. So what could have caused her to suffer from her debilitating memory loss? Maybe Ellen DeGeneres just forgot her lines and that's what happened. Well, one theory suggests that she was physically abused by her parents every day. She grew up in a really bad household where her parents didn't love her and they took out all their frustrations on her. So Dory could be struggling with, a combination of repressed childhood memories and a physical impairment on her brain that is causing her to lose her short-term memory. Let me know if you guys have other theories about that one in the comment section below. How did Dory lose her memory? Number 1, Marlin only wanted to find Nemo so that they can reproduce. Okay, now I can officially say that I'm scarred for life. At first we thought this is a story about a father and son relationship, but things took a turn for the worse with this theory. In a clownfish colony, a male and female are in control. So in Finding Nemo, Marlin is a dominant male and Coral, his wife, is a dominant female. But when a dominant female of the colony is removed, the dominant male will change into the dominant female. Yeah, you heard that right. A little confusing, but that's how it goes down. Clownfish are all born as a male, but they possess both female and male reproductive organs. So in the beginning of the movie, Coral and Nemo's other siblings all died, so that means that Marlin would have to change into the dominant female, and the next fish in line would be the next dominant male, that being Nemo. So essentially Marlin is searching for his son Nemo so that they can reproduce and build a new clownfish colony. That just sounds so wrong on so many different levels, and I wish I didn't research that. Well, there you guys have it. Thank you guys so much for watching this. I was your host, Landon Do Not Sing, and I'll see you guys all in the next most amazing top 10 video.